All right, let's unpack this. Welcome back to the deep dive, where we plunge into a stack of fascinating sources, extract the most potent nuggets of knowledge, and distill them into actionable insights just for you. I'm Ethan, and I'm incredibly excited about today's deep dive because we're tackling something I know resonates with so many of you: academic writing. Whether you're a seasoned scholar, a graduate student staring down a thesis, or just someone who appreciates, a well-structured thought process, you're in for a truly illuminating session. I'm joined as always by our expert guide, who has a real knack for connecting the dots and revealing the deeper currents beneath the surface of complex ideas. Today, our focus is on an incredibly innovative tool, the prompt kit for academic research writing stack. Now, this isn't just a handful of helpful suggestions for an AI. It's a meticulously designed system aiming to fundamentally transform the academic writing process, making it more efficient, more structured, and crucially, profoundly insightful. What truly sets it apart, I think, is its alignment with something called relational design thinking.
The genius behind this kit comes from William Braddock, an MFA graduate student in design thinking at Radford University. And I think that's such a pivotal detail. It's not from, say, a traditional academic publisher, but from someone immersed in design thinking. This brings a unique, systematic, and incredibly human-centered approach to what can often feel like a very rigid, impersonal, and at times solitary endeavor. It's really a designer's take on the structured chaos of academic writing, offering a fresh perspective on an age-old challenge.
Indeed. What's particularly fascinating here is how this kit not only streamlines the process, but also actively encourages deeper, more critical engagement with the material. And that is absolutely crucial for any researcher aiming to make an original contribution. For you, our listener, our mission today is to break down exactly how this prompt kit works. We'll explore its core prompt templates, its iterative cycles, and its framework-specific variations. This deep dive is really for anyone who grapples with academic writing, maybe from generating that initial spark of an idea all the way to navigating the complexities of getting published. Anyone who craves a structured AI-assisted approach, think of this as your intellectual scaffolding, a shortcut to not just elevating your academic output, but also enhancing the rigor of your thinking. We're going to offer you practical insights that you can apply almost immediately to transform your own scholarly journey.
And what a journey it can be. I remember countless hours spent just staring at a blank page or wrestling with a tangled web of sources. So let's start by truly defining what this prompt kit entails. When we talk about the prompt kit for academic research writing stack, we're not talking about a generic set of questions you might casually throw at an AI. The source describes it as a comprehensive system built around core prompt templates, iteration cycles, and framework-specific variations. It's meticulously designed to support every stage of the academic writing process. You can think of it like a specialized toolkit for a highly skilled artisan. But instead of the physical tools a craftsman uses, wrenches, saws, or hammers, your tools are finely tuned prompts. Each one precision engineered for a specific task in the intricate construction of a scholarly paper. It's a systematic, integrated approach far beyond just a grab bag of helpful tricks. It's a real method.
And that deeply systematic method is, as you mentioned, rooted in what the author calls Relational Design Thinking Aligned, or RDT. Now, this isn't just some trendy label. It signifies a profound philosophical underpinning. Relational design thinking, at its core, suggests an approach focused on uncovering and understanding connections, relationships, and context within any given problem space. When you apply this to academic writing, well, it means thinking deeply about how your nascent ideas relate to existing scholarship, how your chosen research topic connects to real-world problems and societal needs, and crucially, how different theoretical frameworks interact and inform one another. It's about seeing the entire ecosystem of knowledge, really, rather than just isolated facts or arguments. The source material for this kit also intriguingly mentions that it's tailored to your 54 RDT frameworks. Now, the document we're diving into doesn't provide an exhaustive list or detailed definitions for all 54 of these frameworks, and we want to be transparent about that. However, the implication of having such a vast library is what's truly powerful. It suggests an incredibly adaptable and customizable system, one that can provide researchers with a multitude of theoretical and practical lenses through which to approach and analyze their topics. Imagine the sheer flexibility and depth this offers. If we connect this to the bigger picture, the RDT alignment isn't merely a descriptor. It suggests a philosophical foundation that actively encourages researchers to think more broadly, more interconnectedly, more holistically about their work. It prompts them to move beyond siloed disciplines to uncover richer, more nuanced insights. It's a call to synthesize, to relate, to find deeper meaning in the often overlooked connections between ideas and disciplines.
That makes so much sense, yeah. It's about moving beyond rote memorization or, surface-level summaries. So if you're out there staring at a blank page or feeling completely overwhelmed by a mountain of research sources, what does this all mean for you? It means a strategic, proactive solution to some of those common and frustrating academic pain points. We're talking about writer's block, which can feel like an impenetrable wall between you and your progress. We're talking about information overload, where you have so much data you don't even know where to begin extracting meaning. It addresses the difficulty in maintaining focus on your core argument, especially in long, complex papers. And of course, there's that ever-present challenge of ensuring originality and making a genuine, significant contribution to your field. This kit offers a systematic, intelligent way to tackle those challenges head-on with a powerful assistant right there with you. It's like having a co-pilot who's an expert in structuring arguments, spotting gaps, and anticipating pitfalls, helping you navigate the academic wilderness with more confidence. Now, to truly appreciate the genius of this kit and how it addresses those pain points, we need to understand its foundational structure. The source outlines a clear, linear, but also inherently iterative five-stage process. This isn't just a suggested sequence. It's designed to be a comprehensive roadmap for your entire research and writing journey. It breaks down what can feel like an impossibly large, monolithic project into manageable, logical steps. So let's list these stages as they provide the scaffolding for everything we'll discuss next. First, we have idea generation. Second, literature review. Third, drafting. Fourth, critique and iteration. And finally, fifth, final polish. Each of these stages, while distinct, is interconnected, and each has its own specialized set of prompt types, precisely designed to guide you purposefully through that specific phase.
And the true beauty of this structured approach lies in the explicit purpose assigned to each stage, ensuring a natural and deliberate progression. For idea generation, the overarching goal is to find original angles rooted in your frameworks. This isn't just about random brainstorming, it's about starting with a strong, novel foundation, directly informed by your chosen theoretical lenses, ensuring your contribution is distinct right from the outset. Then, for the literature review, the purpose is to digest, connect, and critique scholarship. Notice the emphasis on connect and critique. It's not merely about summarizing what others have said, it's about critical analysis, understanding the relationships between different works, and identifying intellectual tensions, consensus, or significant voids, which goes far beyond a simple report. Next, in the drafting stage, the kit aims to help you write with clarity, structure, and style. This focuses on the practical mechanics of building your paper effectively, ensuring your ideas are communicated precisely and persuasively. Following that, critique and iteration is designed to make your work stronger and publish-ready. This underscores the essential feedback loop, the rigorous refinement process that transforms a good draft into a great, defensible piece of scholarship ready for external scrutiny. And finally, the final polish stage is about ensuring you format and prep for publishing, emphasizing the professional readiness aspect that surprisingly often can be overlooked in the rush to submit, but which can significantly impact acceptance. This raises an important question, doesn't it? How many of us typically approach these stages so deliberately and with such a clear, articulated purpose for each one? This kit provides that much-needed discipline and intentionality, preventing aimless effort and guiding you toward a robust final product.
That discipline is precisely why this structured approach is so incredibly valuable.
Yeah.
It directly combats the overwhelm that so many of us feel when facing a large academic project. Instead of a monolithic, daunting task, you're presented with a clear, step-by-step guide. It provides an immense sense of control, transforming a seemingly insurmountable process into a series of achievable, interconnected milestones. It's like being handed a detailed project plan for constructing a complex building, rather than just being given a pile of raw materials and told to build something impressive. This framework helps you maintain focus, ensuring that each effort builds purposefully on the last, moving you steadily and strategically toward your final goal, rather than getting lost in the weeds. All right, let's roll up our sleeves and really get into the weeds now, stage by stage, to see how these prompts work their magic. We'll kick things off with stage 1, idea generation. This is where the seed of your research is planted, and the kit focuses intently on sparking originality, ensuring your initial ideas are robust, relevant, and well-grounded. The prompt types here are HMW, which, for those unfamiliar, stands for How Might We, a common prompt in design thinking, gap discovery, and angle discovery. Here's where it gets really interesting for anyone trying to find their unique voice and make a significant, defensible contribution to their field.
Exactly. This stage is about more than just brainstorming. It's about strategic ideation. Let's look at some detailed examples. The first prompt we have here for idea generation is a research questions prompt. The core prompt reads, using the PLUS framework name, generate 5 research questions about PLUS topic. Prioritize originality and real-world application. Now, the illustrative example provided is, using the CARE framework, generate 5 research questions on empathy and AI in community design. Let's unpack this a bit. The critical element is the deliberate role of the framework. It's not just asking for any 5 questions. It's asking for questions filtered through a specific theoretical lens. While the source document doesn't explicitly define CARE, we can infer from its name and the context of empathy and AI that it likely stands for something like compassion, agency, responsibility, and ethics. So applying a CARE framework to a topic like empathy and AI in community design would naturally guide your questions towards specific critical areas. For instance, instead of a general question like, how does AI affect communities, you might generate something like, how can AI be explicitly designed to foster compassionate and inclusive interactions in community spaces? Particularly in mediating conflict, rather than purely transactional or efficiency-driven ones, or maybe, what are the specific ethical responsibilities of designers and policymakers when implementing AI solutions in vulnerable communities, especially concerning issues of citizen agency and the potential for algorithmic bias? This dual emphasis on originality and practical real-world relevance ensures your research isn't just theoretically sound, it's also grounded in tangible impact and addresses pressing societal concerns. The strategic advantage here is that the framework acts as a powerful intellectual constraint, forcing you to generate questions that are not only novel but also deeply rooted in a specific, defensible theoretical stance. It prevents vague or unoriginal inquiry.
That's a fantastic point about using the framework to constrain and elevate the inquiry. Yeah, it forces certain intellectual discipline right from the start. And building on that, another powerful prompt is for gap discovery. The core prompt here is, what are 3 possible gaps in the current literature around PLUS topic based on the PLUS framework name lens? The example provided is, what are 3 gaps in the literature on post-trauma design education using the Roots PLUS framework? This prompt is absolutely brilliant because it trains you, the researcher, to think critically about existing research right from the start. Not just to summarize it passively, you're not just finding what's there, you're actively looking for what's missing, what hasn't been addressed adequately, or what conceptual blind spots exist. If we were to speculate on what a Roots Plus framework could signify, maybe resilience, origin, outcome, transformation, stability, plus some evolving element, applying it to post-trauma design education would reveal very specific voids. For example, a gap might be, is there sufficient literature exploring how design education curricula itself can be systematically leveraged as a therapeutic tool for fostering psychological resilience and post-traumatic growth in students? Or maybe, beyond individual healing, what are the long-term societal outcomes, especially concerning community stability and transformation of design interventions in trauma recovery, and how are these measured in existing scholarship? This moves you past mere understanding into active, critical engagement with the academic landscape, positioning your work as a necessary contribution that fills a genuine void. The strategic advantage is that you're not just carving out a niche, you're identifying a vital, unaddressed area, making your research inherently more impactful and easier to defend.
And this critical, forward-thinking approach continues with the contrarian overlooked angles prompt. What are 5 contrarian or overlooked angles on PLUS topic using the Place's civic design model? This prompt really highlights the value of challenging assumptions and actively seeking novel perspectives, which is absolutely essential for academic distinction and for pushing the boundaries of established knowledge. Again, while the source doesn't explicitly define places, we can infer that as a civic design model, it would naturally guide thinking on public spaces, livable communities, accessibility, community engagement, equity, and sustainability, the core elements. So for instance, if your topic is urban renewal projects, a contrarian angle using places might be, while public spaces are often designed with an overt aim for inclusivity, how might ostensibly inclusive designs, particularly those focused on smart city technology, inadvertently create new forms of exclusion or digital divides for specific overlooked demographics, rather than fostering a true sense of belonging? Or maybe, instead of solely focusing on government-led initiatives for civic engagement, what overlooked roles do informal, grassroots community networks and spontaneous local actions play in shaping civic life and sustainability? And how can design models better leverage these organic structures without, co-opting them? This prompt pushes you to look beyond the obvious, to question accepted narratives, and to uncover insights that others might miss, truly elevating the originality and intellectual rigor of your work. The strategic advantage here is in developing a truly distinctive research voice, making your paper stand out in a crowded field by offering fresh, unexpected perspectives.
I think that's incredibly powerful.
These prompts don't just give you answers, they systematically help you structure your thinking process. They can transform a vague idea or a general area of interest into concrete, highly defensible research questions and a clear sense of purpose for your study. For anyone who's ever felt lost at the beginning of a research project, this is revolutionary. It's about leveraging AI to think with you, to guide your intellectual inquiry, to illuminate pathways you might not have considered, rather than just having it generate text for you. It's a true intellectual partnership that enhances rather than replaces your own cognitive effort. Now that we've sparked some original ideas and clearly defined our research direction, let's move on to stage 2, literature review prompts. This stage is absolutely crucial, and the kit emphasizes moving beyond simple summarization to truly critical engagement. The prompt types here are source summarizer, theme synthesizer, and framework lens. This is where you systematically digest, connect, and critique existing scholarship, laying the essential foundation for your own unique contribution. It's about building a robust intellectual context for your work.
Yes, that distinction between merely summarizing and critically engaging is absolutely key here. It's about becoming an active participant in the scholarly conversation, not just a passive reporter. One particular powerful prompt is the framework lens summary prompt. Summarize these 3 papers through the lens of the PLUS framework name and extract the major tensions, consensus, and gaps. End quote. The power here isn't just in summarizing the papers individually, but in analyzing them through a specific theoretical lens. This forces you to engage in comparative thinking and critical analysis of how sources interact, rather than just presenting them sequentially one after another. For example, imagine you're reviewing 3 articles on the integration of augmented reality in educational settings. If you use, say, a situated learning framework, you wouldn't just summarize each article's findings. You would analyze how each article addresses or neglects the principles of situated learning, like learning in context or legitimate peripheral participation. You would then identify where these articles agree, that's the consensus, on the benefits or challenges of AR, where they contradict the tensions regarding pedagogical approaches, and what aspects of situated learning in AR they fail to sufficiently cover. Those are the gaps. The strategic advantage is that this approach transforms your literature review into a dynamic, analytical section, not just a descriptive one. You're not just presenting findings, you're actively constructing an argument about the current state of knowledge, seen through a specific and defensible theoretical perspective.
Right. That really helps you build an argument within the literature review itself, rather than just reporting on it. It's about demonstrating mastery and setting the stage for your own intervention. And then we have the shared assumptions values prompt. What shared assumptions, values, or limitations are present in these sources? This prompt is incredibly insightful because it helps you, the researcher, identify the underlying currents and intellectual paradigms within a body of literature. It encourages a deeper understanding of the field's intellectual landscape, going beyond explicit arguments to uncover the implicit agreements, often unstated values, or even common blind spots that shape the discourse. For example, if you're reviewing papers on technological innovation in healthcare, you might discover a shared, often unexamined assumption that newer technology is inherently better, or maybe that efficiency should always be prioritized over human connection. Identifying these underlying assumptions, values, or shared limitations, whether they pertain to methodology or philosophical stance, can be a breakthrough for your own research. It allows you to critically engage with the foundations of the field and position your work in a way that either builds upon or strategically challenges these deeply held beliefs. It's like discovering the hidden architecture beneath the surface of the academic conversation.
Absolutely. And this analytical depth kind of culminates in the framework table prompt. Create a table comparing each citation's position relative to the framework: feeling, responsibility, agency, meaning, empathy. The source even provides a structure for this table, suggesting columns like author, framework alignment, key contribution, DEI notes, critique. The framework itself, with its components of feeling, responsibility, agency, meaning, and empathy, provides a specific and powerful analytical tool for critical comparison. Imagine using this to compare diverse sources on a topic like the ethical implications of AI. You're not just comparing their findings or methodologies, but rather how each author addresses the emotional impact of AI on users, that's feeling, their stance on ethical duties for AI developers, responsibility, the level of human or machine control and decision-making, agency, the deeper purpose or significance they assign to AI's role in society, meaning, and how they consider AI's capacity for or impact on human empathy. What's particularly fascinating here is the explicit inclusion of DEI notes and critique columns within the suggested table structure. The DEI notes push you to actively assess inclusivity, equity and diversity considerations within each source, which is increasingly vital and expected in contemporary scholarship.
Right.
Right. The critique column, of course, is for your own rigorous critical engagement and evaluation of the source. This is where your literature review gets truly analytical and becomes an argument in itself. You're not just reading, you're actively constructing a nuanced understanding, looking for underlying ethical and social considerations, and meticulously preparing to situate your own work within this complex, multidimensional landscape.
Oh.
This depth allows you to identify sophisticated connections and divergences that a simple summary would entirely miss.
Yeah, this stage truly equipped you not just to understand the literature, but to critically position your own work within it. It's about demonstrating your mastery of the field and setting a compelling stage for your original contribution, showing precisely where your work fits in and why it matters. For anyone who has struggled to make their literature review feel like more than just a bibliography with descriptions, this is a game changer. Seriously. All right, we've generated our powerful ideas, we've critically reviewed the literature and identified our unique contribution, and now it's time for stage 3, drafting prompts. This is where all that meticulous preparatory work gets translated into coherent, persuasive written form. This stage offers outline generator, section builder, and thesis refiner prompts to help you build your paper with structure and clarity. It's about moving from comprehensive research to the actual physical act of writing in the most organized and strategic way possible.
Precisely. Disorganization can be a colossal hurdle in the drafting process, leading to writer's block and incoherent arguments, and these prompts tackle that head-on. The outline generator prompt is a perfect starting point. Build an academic paper outline using the PLUS framework name structure. Include title, abstract, intro, section headers, and conclusion. This prompt highlights a profoundly systematic approach to structuring your entire paper. By using a chosen framework to dictate your outline, you ensure inherent coherence and a logical flow from the very outset. This isn't just about creating an arbitrary list of sections, it's about embedding your theoretical foundation directly into the architecture of your argument. For instance, if you've decided to use the Place's civic design model for your paper on urban green spaces, your outline wouldn't just be generic sections like introduction, body, conclusion. No. Instead, your section headers might be structured to directly address the different facets of places. You might have a section titled Analyzing Public Space Accessibility Through the Places Lens, another on Community Engagement Strategies for Green Space Design Informed by Places, and perhaps a discussion on equity and sustainability in urban parks leveraging Places principles. This strategic pre-planning prevents you from simply writing and then trying to impose structure later, which is a common pitfall that leads to disjointed arguments. The structure is integrated from the beginning, saving immense time, effort, and cognitive load later on. It's like having the blueprints for your entire argument before you lay the first brick.
That kind of embedded pre-planning is invaluable. It's exactly what I wish I'd had when I was writing my longer papers, seriously. Then, to tackle the writing itself, section by section, we have the section builder prompt. Draft the PLUS section of my paper in an academic tone, reference +X key sources, and maintain APA 7 style. This is incredibly practical and I think a huge relief for many researchers. It allows you to tackle a paper section by section, which can make the overall task far less intimidating. You can focus intently on your introduction, then your methods, then a discussion, and so on, without getting overwhelmed by the entirety of the paper. More importantly, it helps ensure you maintain the correct academic tone, formal, objective, precise, and seamlessly integrate citations, adhering meticulously to stylistic guidelines like APA 7. This is where the AI becomes your assistant, helping you maintain consistency and accuracy, especially with those pesky citation rules that can devour hours of manual checking. For someone struggling with where to begin writing a specific part, this prompt provides a clear directive and precise parameters, minimizing the friction of getting started.
And underpinning all of this is your thesis statement, which is why the thesis refiner prompt is so crucial. Improve this thesis for clarity, originality, and depth. Then list 3 ways it could be challenged. A strong, concise, and defensible thesis is the backbone of any academic paper, guiding your entire argument. This prompt doesn't just ask you to improve your thesis, it pushes for a robust, resilient statement by explicitly asking you to anticipate counterarguments. It's not just about making your thesis sound good, it's about making it intellectually bulletproof. For example, if your initial thesis statement is a broad claim like AI will improve education, the AI, using this prompt, might refine it to something like, while offering significant potential, the integration of AI in K-12 education faces critical challenges in equitable access and pedagogical transformation, requiring a reevaluation of current implementation strategies. Then it would immediately prompt you to list 3 ways that refined thesis could be challenged, such as Challenge 1. AI does provide equitable access in certain contexts, particularly for students with special needs. Or Challenge 2. Pedagogical transformation is already well underway due to AI, with many teachers embracing innovative tools. And maybe Challenge 3. The long-term benefits of AI, like personalized learning paths, far outweigh any perceived short-term challenges. This process raises an important question. How often do we truly stress test our thesis statements with such rigor before we're deep into drafting, only to find our argument crumble later? This prompt forces that crucial preemptive critique, strengthening your entire argument and making it far more defensible before you invest significant writing time.
Absolutely. These drafting prompts truly streamline the actual writing process, making it less intimidating and much more productive. It's about building your argument brick by brick, with AI acting as your structural engineer, ensuring each piece is sound, well-placed, and fits together cohesively. It takes so much of the mental load out of the process, allowing you to focus on the intellectual heavy lifting. Okay, we've generated our ideas, we've critically reviewed the literature, and we've meticulously drafted our paper. But, as anyone who has written anything substantial knows, writing isn't done after the first draft. In fact, that's often when the real work begins. Which brings us to stage 4, critique and iteration prompts. This is where we move from simply drafting to truly refining, strengthening, and pressure testing your work. The kit offers powerful prompt types like the 10x improvement cycle, peer reviewer sim, and DI bias check. It's not enough to just write. We have to make it stronger, more robust, more nuanced, and ultimately publish ready.
This stage is absolutely critical for transforming a good paper into an excellent, defensible one. It's where you truly polish your intellectual contribution. Let's start with the 10x improvement cycle. The core prompt for this cycle is incredibly comprehensive and multifaceted. Critique this section using bows, ego, cons, exciases or assumptions, I, DEI lens, auth suggestions for improvement, A, personal reflection, how might this affect readers? Then rewrite the paragraph based on that critique. And this prompt is explicitly designed to be repeated up to 3x, reinforcing an active, iterative improvement process. What's truly fascinating here is the embedded critical thinking framework. You're not just looking for grammatical errors, you're conducting a multifaceted, deep dive analysis of your own writing. For instance, the isobiases or assumptions element forces you to consciously consider the underlying perspectives and preconceived notions that might be influencing your writing or shaping your interpretation of data. The AEEI lens pushes you to actively assess diversity, equity, and inclusion aspects within your language, examples, and arguments, which is an increasingly vital and ethically responsible consideration in all academic fields. And the personal reflection, how might this affect readers, encourages you to step into the reader's shoes, anticipating how your words might land, be interpreted, or potentially misconstrued. Imagine applying this to a paragraph discussing research findings you might identify an unconscious bias in how you framed a certain demographic, or realize that your language, while technically correct, could inadvertently alienate or be misunderstood by certain readers. This process teaches you to be your own most rigorous, empathetic, and intellectually honest editor, considering perspectives far beyond just surface-level issues. The immediate then rewrite instruction is key, translating conceptual critique into concrete, actionable improvement.
That's a profound way to approach revision. Yeah. It's not just fixing errors. It's about deeply interrogating your own writing and understanding its broader implications. Makes you a more thoughtful writer. And then, to really prepare you for the often intense scrutiny of actual academic publishing, the kit offers peer review simulation prompts. These are invaluable for building resilience and improving your argument before it reaches external reviewers. One example is, act as a reviewer for PLOS journal name, provide detailed feedback for revision or rejection of this abstract or paper section. In other words, what would a skeptical academic reader object to in this argument? How can I strengthen it? These prompts help you anticipate objections, identify potential weaknesses, and proactively strengthen your arguments long before you even hit the submit button. You can feed your draft or even just a challenging section of it into the AI. Tell it to adopt the persona of a reviewer for a specific journal. Let's say a top-tier journal known for its rigorous methodological standards, and it will provide feedback that closely mimics what you might actually receive. This helps you identify weak points, logical gaps in your argument, or areas needing more robust evidence well before a real human reviewer points them out. It's like getting a dress rehearsal for publication. I can only imagine how much anxiety this would alleviate, allowing you to fine-tune your work, fortify your arguments, and significantly increase its chances of acceptance. It's about proactive problem solving rather than reactive damage control.
Exactly. This stage truly transforms raw drafts into polished, defensible scholarly work, significantly increasing the likelihood of publication. It's about being proactive and ensuring your paper is as robust, clear, and impactful as possible, anticipating and addressing potential criticisms before they even arise. This preemptive approach can save months, maybe even years, in the publication cycle.
We're almost there. We've generated, reviewed, drafted, critiqued, and iterated. Now we're at stage 5, final Polish prompts. These are the last crucial steps before submission, often overlooked in the rush, but absolutely essential for a professional presentation and for maximizing your paper's impact and chances of acceptance. The prompt types here are APA 7 Fixer, Submission Prep, and Journal Fit. It's the last mile, and it needs to be executed flawlessly.
Indeed. Meticulous attention to detail at this stage can prevent frustrating desk rejections and ensure your hard work shines through. The APA 7 formatting prompt is an absolute lifesaver for many. Format this draft to APA 7, checking all in-text citations, references, headers, and figure table formats. Academic formatting, whether it's APA, MLA, Chicago, or whatever, can be incredibly complex, nuanced, and notoriously time-consuming. Even minor errors in citation or heading structure can reflect poorly on a submission, sometimes leading to an immediate desk rejection before the content is even properly assessed. This prompt leverages AI to meticulously ensure compliance with stringent guidelines like APA 7, saving you countless hours of manual checking and preventing common, yet impactful, errors. Think about the mental energy researchers spend manually checking every comma, every italicized journal title, every heading level, or the precise indentation of a block quote. AI can handle that tedious grunt work with precision, freeing you up to focus your valuable cognitive resources on the intellectual content while ensuring your paper meets impeccable professional presentation standards. This isn't just about aesthetics, it's really about credibility.
Absolutely. It's about making sure the packaging is as strong and professional as the profound content within. And then strategically, we have the Journal Fit prompt. List 3 journals that would be a good fit for this topic and why. Include links to submission guidelines. This is an incredibly valuable strategic tool that can profoundly impact the visibility and reach of your work. Targeting the right journal is a critical decision that can truly make or break a publication effort. Submitting to an ill-fitting journal is just a waste of your time and the reviewer's time, almost guaranteeing rejection. This prompt not only suggests journals that genuinely align with your specific topic and methodology, but crucially, it provides the why they are a good fit, based on their scope, audience, and typical focus. Even better, it includes direct links to their submission guidelines, streamlining what can often be a frustrating and time-consuming research process of finding the perfect home for your manuscript. It helps you find the specific audience that will most appreciate, understand, and engage with your work, thereby maximizing its impact and reach. This moves the publication process from a shot in the dark to a strategic, informed decision.
And finally, the ultimate layer of quality control for any academic work is the Publish Ready checklist prompt. Is this paper publish ready? What's missing for a 1010 academic standard? This prompt takes a holistic view, implying a comprehensive final review for rigor, impact, and adherence to top-tier expectations. It's about ensuring your work stands up to the highest possible scrutiny before you release it into the academic sphere. The 1010 academic standard isn't just about being error-free or perfectly formatted. It's about intellectual robustness, the originality of contribution, the clarity and defensibility of your argument, the strength of your evidence, and its potential impact on the field. The AI, acting as a final objective reviewer, prompts you to consider if your argument is truly compelling, if your evidence is sufficiently strong and varied, if your theoretical contribution is explicit, or if your conclusions are fully justified and nuanced. If we connect this to the bigger picture, this isn't just about minor tweaks before submission. It's about ensuring your work is truly exceptional, contributing significantly to knowledge, and poised to withstand the most rigorous peer review processes.
These prompts collectively ensure your paper is not just well-written, but also professionally presented, meticulously formatted, and strategically targeted. They maximize its impact and significantly increase its chances of publication, which is, let's face it, the ultimate goal for so many academics. It's about leaving no stone unturned in the pursuit of scholarly excellence. Now let's explore some advanced applications and beyond the basics that this kit offers. This is where the true power and flexibility of relational design thinking really shine, moving beyond the linear stages into more complex, nuanced inquiry.
Absolutely. One of the most exciting advanced applications is the cross-framework combination prompt. Merge, care, and places frameworks to explore the ethical and civic implications of plus topic, what tensions or innovations emerge. This is where you really push the boundaries of conventional analysis and move into genuinely interdisciplinary research. By strategically merging frameworks like CARE, which we inferred focuses on compassion, agency, responsibility, ethics, with places guiding civic design, public spaces, and equity, you foster a much richer, more complex, and truly interdisciplinary analysis. For example, if your topic is smart city development and public trust, merging care and places would force you to consider not just the functional aspects of civic design, infrastructure, and public space utilization, that's places, but also the profound ethical implications of data collection and surveillance, the agency of citizens within these technology-driven systems, and the compassionate design of public interfaces that genuinely foster rather than erode trust. That's HERE. This multi-lens approach not only allows for greater depth, novelty, and intellectual sophistication in your research, but also helps uncover unexpected tensions, synergies, or groundbreaking innovations that simply wouldn't be visible through the limited lens of a single framework. This raises an important question about the future of interdisciplinary research. How can AI, as a tool for systematic prompt engineering, help us synthesize seemingly disparate fields to generate truly novel, integrated insights that address complex, real-world problems? It's about creating new intellectual territory.
That's incredibly powerful. Yeah, literally creating new lambdas for inquiry and discovery. The kit also highlights the convenience of a ready-to-copy mini-kit for quick use, showcasing how these advanced concepts can be condensed for immediate practical application. For example, one such prompt reads, using the CARE framework, what's a novel research question about empathy and machine learning design? It's direct, immediately actionable, and combines framework specificity with topic relevance. Another great one is, critique this section with pros, cons, biases, DEI, suggestions, and personal reflections. Then revise it for impact. This mini-kit demonstrates that you don't have to engage with the entire systematic workflow every single time. You can pull out a specific targeted prompt for a specific need, making it incredibly versatile and adaptable to your immediate research challenge. It's kind of like having a quick reference guide to intellectual problem solving.
And for those who are truly ready to personalize and deeply integrate this powerful tool into their workflow, the source mentions several want to go further options. These include building a Notion-based prompt dashboard for dynamic access, creating a PDF toolkit for offline use or sharing, or comprehensively customizing the entire kit around a real topic you're currently working on. What's fascinating here is the explicit willingness to adapt the tool to the individual user's specific needs, preferences, and ongoing projects, a true testament to fundamental design thinking principles. It's not presented as a rigid, one-size-fits-all solution. It's designed to evolve with you and your research, becoming a truly bespoke, dynamic, and highly relevant partner in your academic journey. The source even includes a sample listener query. I am reviewing books on empathy. What frameworks should I be using in this stack? This implicitly shows how the kit itself is designed to encourage such meta questions about methodology and helps you find tailored answers for your specific research interests. It's about empowering you to ask the right questions to the right tools, making your inquiry more efficient and more profound.
Well, we have certainly covered a tremendous amount of ground today. This deep dives into William Braddock's Prompt Kit for Academic Research Writing Stack has revealed an incredibly sophisticated, thoughtful, and pragmatic approach to navigating the often challenging world of scholarly output. It's clear that from initial idea generation all the way through to final polish and publication, this kit provides a structured, critical, and efficient pathway. It's important to reiterate that this isn't about replacing your intellect or diminishing your hard work, but rather about augmenting it with a powerful AI-driven structure that helps you think more deeply, write more clearly, contribute more originally, and ultimately publish more effectively.
Indeed. If we connect this to the bigger picture, this deep dive isn't just about understanding a tool, it's about reimagining how we can approach the entire scholarly endeavor, making it more deliberate, more iterative, and more critically engaged. It encourages a level of intellectual rigor that can truly elevate any academic project. We genuinely encourage you, our listener, to consider how applying even just one or two of these structured prompts from a specific stage could immediately enhance your own research and writing process. Start small, maybe experiment with a specific prompt, and see the tangible difference it can make in transforming your ideas into impactful, publishable scholarship.
Absolutely. And that leaves us with a thought to ponder as we wrap up. In an increasingly information-saturated world where the volume of data can often feel overwhelming,
how might systematic prompt engineering not only make us more efficient and productive researchers, but also cultivate us into more insightful and ethical thinkers in our respective fields, constantly pushing us to examine our work through new lenses of responsibility, equity, and long-term impact. Thank you for joining us on this deep dive. We hope you found this exploration as enlightening and practically valuable as we did. We'll catch you next time.